So, good morning. My name is Micael Oliveira, and I'm a PhD student here at the IST. And this morning I'll be talking about Orankl, a project I've been working on with two friends of mine. And Orankl will be an online platform that will revolutionize the way you make decisions about products. The main motivation behind Orankl lays on the simple fact that decisions are a difficult and complicated process. Sorry. Okay. I remember last year, just before being re-elected President of the United States, Barack Obama saying in an interview that the two main job requirements for being President of the United States were actually exercising on a daily basis and saving his decision power. This is actually the reason why he eats the same cereal with banana every morning and knows exactly which tie matches which suit, so that he can save his decision power for the decisions that really matter. There is a very interesting talk by Professor Sheena Ingar, where she states that on average, a human being makes 70 decisions a day, which is a huge number. And since we live in a consumer society, a lot of these decisions gravitate around the acquisition of products and services. If you look closer into the acquisition of a product, you can subdivide it in two phases. On the one hand, you have the decision-making related to the gathering of information, and on the other, you have the act of the acquisition itself. Imagine that, like me, you like mountain bikes, and you would like to buy a new mountain bike, but you know nothing about mountain bikes. So there are two possible scenarios for you to go through in order to acquire a new mountain bike. So, okay. The first one is the one that you would surf the web, gathering information from blogs, forums, and other specialized sites in order to make your decision. And as you might have experienced this kind of scenario, it is highly time-consuming and tedious process. So what you end up with in the end is highly technical information and even contradictory information. So instead of facilitating your decision, you're just making it harder. So in the end, your acquisition might not reflect your true needs. So let's imagine now a second scenario, a much more pleasant scenario. A scenario where you actually have a friend who owns a mountain bike and happens to know the mountain bike market pretty well. So in just a quick chat, you can expose him with your true needs. So knowing your needs and knowing the mountain bike market is able to provide you with very specialized and adapted advice. So really facilitating your decision. And in the end, what you end up with is that your acquisition does indeed reflect your true needs. So this is the kind of scenario we want to reproduce at Orankl, but basing ourselves in the online review system. And the main idea here is that the fact that reviews are a powerful and useful tool. As a matter of fact, more than 60% of online users read online reviews before they purchase a product. And there are successful review systems online, such that you might know. For instance, if I say TV series or movies, you might already be thinking about IMDb, sorry. If I say restaurants or bars, you might be thinking about Yelp or TripAdvisor. And for the remainder categories of products, there is no real true reference platform. And Orankl aims at tackling this problem by being a reference platform for technological reviews. And this by introducing new features into the actual review system. If you think closer about the actual review system, you can identify several flaws, one of which is the actual review itself. Imagine, today, writing a review really corresponds to giving a white sheet of paper to a user and letting him write whatever comes to his mind about his experience with the product. And as you can imagine, this process is highly inefficient and can lead to very different results. For instance, go to Amazon, write the name of your favorite book, and read some of the reviews. What you'll see is that there are users that write really huge romances about why they hate or they love that given book, and other users will only write a small paragraph or even only a small sentence. So this is a problem, because all of these reviews entail information, but information that cannot be directly compared. In order to tackle this kind of problem, at Orankl, we introduce a new review system. It's a simple review system that is based on a set of questions to which a user has to provide really short and simple answers. And by employing our algorithms, we are able to extract the user experience, all the relevant information about the user experience, about the user with this given product. So this not only facilitates the gathering of information, but it also facilitates the creation of reviews by the users. Furthermore, if you look closer into the actual review system, reviews are not fitted to the users that are reading them. What I mean by this is that different users have different needs and thus should be getting different recommendations. Imagine for a second that I gave every single person in this room 1,000 euros to buy a new laptop. But with one condition, though. You should be getting the laptop that the traditional recommender systems recommend to you. And what we would end up with is that the vast majority of us here would end up with the same laptop. And this is a problem, because there might be architects, mechanical engineers, or programmers, all people with different needs. How come they end up with the same machine? This does not make any sense. So imagine now a case scenario at the Orankl platform where John, a photographer, wants to buy a new laptop. He comes to the Orankl platform, and he sees several reviews. Here, for instance, you have Bob, a designer, another one by Susie, a school teacher, and another one by Andy, a financial analyst. So this is a very interesting example, because we have different people with different needs who bought the same product at different experiences, and thus should be giving different opinions. So it does not make any sense for John to be reading all the reviews. He should only be reading the reviews that are coming from people that have needs similar to his. So at Orankl, we employ machine learning algorithms that allow us to determine the degree of resemblance between users and thus predict which reviews are adequate to each user, thus facilitating the decision-making process of every user. Furthermore, the actual review systems have no real incentives to them. So most of you have already read reviews, but just a small minority of you have actually produced a review. And in order to tackle this problem, we aim to create a community centered around technological reviews, much like the ones that exist at IMDb or Yelp. And we aim to introduce new features that allow us to rank reviews and users. And we are introducing a system of rewards, not only virtual, but also real rewards, appealing to a sense of gamification. And systems like this have already been tested at platforms such as Stack Overflow, Foursquare, or Keep. Now, reviews are a lot like statistical sets. Imagine, reviews are really a lot like surveys. So the more reviews you gather, the closer to the real value of a given product you should get. The problem is that they are spread out all over the web. So no one is really gathering that information and analyzing that information for you. So imagine you want to buy a pair of headphones, you're surfing the web, you're on this online store, but they have no review system, or they might only have 2 or 3 reviews. So you end up leaving this online store, which is bad for you because you're losing your time, and which is bad for the online store, but because it might very likely lose you as a customer. So in order to tackle this kind of problem, we introduce the Orankl API that allows us to gather reviews from all over the web, thus facilitating, thus providing every online store with their own review system, outsourcing their review system to us, and providing all the users with a better set of information and better analytics. So why now? This seems like a question we should ask ourselves. And analyzing the actual market and reading some online papers, we find out that the actual review systems and the actual online stores are having huge trust problems. As a matter of fact, even the e-commerce giant is having trust problems with their review system. Furthermore, studies show that online consumers tend to trust much more reviews coming from independent sources than the ones that are coming directly from the online source. And as you might know, the e-commerce is booming right now. So the number of online stores is increasing rapidly, and thus increasing the number of reviews, and and thus they're being spread all over the web. So there is no one real reference platform gathering all that information for you, analyzing it, and providing the consumers with a better set of information and a better set of statistics. So the market we're looking at here is a huge market. In the US only, it represents north of $200 billion. And it's increasing at an impressive rate of 9% a year. And today, it only represents about 10% of the total retail market, thus leaving it a fair margin of growth. So all these online stores coming online every year are potential customers of platforms such as Orankl. And I've been talking here about Orankl, and I'm talking on behalf of a team. And I would like to present you with a team, which is me. I'm a PhD student in physics here at TIST. And it's Luis, a major in physics, was working as a financial analyst at a private equity firm. And it's João, who just got back from the United States, where he recently graduated computer science at MIT. So this is a highly motivated and dedicated team. And we're dropping everything else we're doing in order to focus 100% on this problem. This is Orankl. And we believe we are going to change the way you make decisions about products. Thank you.